Hi, boys and girls. We're going to go through the story, My Corner. We're going to read it one more time, and this time, as you're listening, you're going to be recording on the chart that we discussed in the last video. You're going to be looking at the first-person point of view of Tia, and you're going to decide what do you know and what do you understand based off what she is telling us. Remember that she is first person telling the story, so there are some things that you're going to be prevented from understanding as you read the story as well. So partway through the story, I'm going to stop and we're going to just fill in one little small part on this chart, and then we'll finish reading the rest of the story. You'll be working with a partner on this activity. You should have a handout that looks like this, and you and your partner are going to be finding ways to understand what exactly is it that Tia can know and understand. So what does first-person point of view allow you to see and understand? And what does first-person point of view prevent you from seeing and understanding completely? My corner. The corner of 71st and Prospect is my corner. Nobody else seems to want it anyway. Most folks look at it and say, there's nothing here, just an empty lot. But they're not looking hard enough. My corner is like a wide open treasure box. But folks pass by all day long and never take the time to peek inside. My name is Tia. I live on the 3rd floor of the apartment building next door. Some days, when my sisters are chasing each other and my brothers are yelling and I feel like the walls of our apartment are about to burst, I run down to my corner. My sneakers pound the pavement, then they take me on a flying leap into a sea of green. I wade through the tall grass, my jeans swishing with every step. Butterflies and crickets scare up at me at my feet. How they got to this little part of the city, I'll never know. I'm careful not to step on the flowers that grow here. They're beautiful, even though they're probably just weeds. If I'm real quiet, the birds go on about their business, and all around me, I sit down and close my eyes and listen to their songs. The grass smells clean and fresh. The sun warms my skin, and I wonder why I'm the only one who's thankful for this place. Some folks don't respect this corner. I've seen them throw trash from their car windows as they speed down 71st. There's junk here, too. Old chairs, a broken bicycle wheel, someone's rusty mailbox. I worry that soon there will be more garbage than birds. One evening, Mama says, Tia, the city wants to pave over that corner of yours. Turn it into a parking lot. It's in the paper today. I stop in my tracks. Not my corner, Mama. They can't do that. They can and they will, says Mama, unless somebody comes up with a better idea. It just needs some cleaning up, that's all. How come they can't see that? I run to my room and slam the door. Out my window, I can see my corner, where will all the birds and butterflies go? When it's all blacktop and concrete. Mama knocks softly at the door and she steps in. Tia, you see something in that corner that most folks don't. You got to make them see what you see. Make some noise about it. No one ever got any place by sitting back and staying quiet. That night, I lie awake for a long time. I'm thinking about what Mama said to me. In my heart, I know she's right. I've got to do something. Early the next morning, I drag a chair down to the corner. On a big scrap of cardboard, I've painted, "No parking lot, save our nature," in large letters. I sit down and I wait. Most people pass by and don't pay any attention to me. Some boys walk by, and I hear one of them say, "Looks like a junkyard to me." They laugh, but I don't care. A few people ask me what I'm doing, and I tell them. Seems almost no one knew about this plan to turn the corner into a parking lot. Across the street, Mrs. Doricio steps out of her beauty shop. She's angry. I can tell. She marches across 71st without even looking, sending cars screeching to a stop. Her eyes are fixed on me. "What is this?" Mr. Riccio asked, waving her hand at my sign. My heart is racing. "My customers need a place to park," she says. "You go home, little girl." She glares at me. "Go home." And she heads back across the street. I swallow hard. I feel my sign drop to the ground. I don't stand a chance against angry Mr. Riccio. Then I see Mama and my brothers and sisters coming down the street. They're carrying chairs and they've painted signs. They're here to help me. I give each one of them the biggest hug I can. "Thank you," I say. 6 people are going to get a lot more attention than just one. That's the great thing about our family. We're an instant crowd. I can see Mr. Riccio in the window of her beauty salon, watching us. Now, I'm going to flip right now over to the same chart, and I've got some answers already typed in for you. And I want you to look here at what this says. In the first section, where we're trying to see what does the first person point of view allow us to see and understand, on the first bullet, it says, "I can see that Tia loves her corner because it's full of plants and animals and it's also peaceful." That comes from lines 7 through 14. Another thing that I can see from Tia's point of view is that she wants to save the corner, but she doesn't understand why other people don't want it saved. I also can understand that Tia thinks Mr. Riccio is mad at her for trying to save the corner. All of this comes from lines 31 through 41. When Tia drops her sign, it gives us the understanding that she feels defeated. Now let's jump over to the right side. On the right-hand column, it says, what does first-person point of view prevent you from seeing and understanding? 1, I don't understand why the city has decided to pave over the corner. If I'm looking at this and only hearing it from Tia's point of view, I don't get to hear what is the city thinking. I don't know why they want to do it because I'm not getting to hear about it. The next thing that I don't understand and it prevents me from seeing is I don't really know if Mr. Riccio is really mad at Tia or how she really feels about the corner being paved. We know she wants a parking lot because she said it, but we really don't know what she's feeling because she is not the one telling the story. Now, as I finish reading the rest of the story, you're going to go ahead and you can copy down some of these that I put down on the chart if you would like to, or you can just start fresh and write your own with your partner. Again, your copy of this task is going to be for you and your partner to work through together. Be sure to give me your lines that you found your evidence so that we as teachers can go back and know that you understood and that you have evidence to support what you're thinking. For the remainder of the story, listen, underline, and find ways to add to your actual paper. You can pause the video as you need to, or you can read the rest of the text on your own. I'm going to go ahead and read the rest just for those who would like to listen. If you want to do it on your own, just take your time, underline it, and add it to the correct side of the columns. I'm going to leave this one up in case you're copying still. Back to the story. Don't pay her no mind, says Mama. Don't she know that most of her customers ain't got cars anyway? What do they need a parking lot for? Mama's shoulders heave with laughter. The afternoon sun is hot, but it doesn't stop my sisters from trying to catch crickets in the tall grass. As I fan myself, I look down the street and I notice a woman taking pictures of my corner. She smiles and walks over to me. I'm Sarah Bennett from the Tribune. Can I talk to you? I look to Mama, but she nods her head in my direction. I'm the one who needs to make some noise. I start talking and Miss Bennett scribbles on a small notepad. A walking path would be nice, I say, and maybe a vegetable garden and a bench so people could sit down and listen to the birds singing. I'm surprised at myself at how many ideas I've got for this corner. When we're done, Miss Bennett snaps a few more pictures, and thanks me for my time. I can't believe it. A real newspaper story about my corner. Mama hugs me and says, I'm real proud of you. Tia, you're making things happen. I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a big day. Mama was right. My brothers burst in the room the next morning waving a copy of the morning paper. Fighting for Nature on the corner of 71st and Prospect was the title of the article, and along with it was a picture of me. We were all jumping up and down and shouting when Mama said, Hey, don't be throwing a party just yet. You've got a corner to save. After breakfast, we drag our chairs and signs back down to the corner. I'm just settling in for a long day when all of a sudden I see my friend Tanya and her family coming down the street. They've got chairs and they're joining us. That was quite an article in the paper, Tia says, Tanya's father. You've got some good ideas for this corner. Then Mr. and Miss Choi from the second floor show up. Tia, I think you're right. We need a little more nature around here, Mrs. Choi says. This isn't just my corner anymore. This is our corner. A week later, we've got people all up and down 71st and Prospect waving signs and making noise. Folks are finally taking a closer look at this corner, and they're excited about what they see. Not Mrs. Doricio, though. She's standing out in the front of her shop with her own sign. I feel a little sorry for her, partly because she's all alone over there, but mostly because she cares more about a parking lot than birds and flowers. I'm asked to speak to a group of people from the city. Mama says they're the ones that will vote on what to do with our corner. I wear my blue dress and my Sunday school shoes. My hands start shaking when I spot Mrs. Doricio in the audience, but I keep my eyes on Mama, and I speak in my loudest voice, just like she told me to. If this is the last little bit of nature in our neighborhood, I say, doesn't it make sense to try and save it? At the end of my speech, everyone applauds, and Sarah Bennett gives me a big smile. I think secretly she's on our side. Other people give speeches too. Some of them have good reasons for wanting a parking lot. Mr. Agostino argues that people would buy more groceries from his store if they could park right across the street. Mrs. Worth explains that she hopes to attract customers to her dress shop by being able to offer parking. I feel a lump in my throat and I look down at the floor. Hold your head up, Tia, whispers Mama. No matter what happens, you should feel proud of yourself for standing up for something you believe in. I'm almost asleep that night when the phone rings. I hear Mama's voice, low and muffled. I climb out of bed and peek into the living room. When Mama hangs up the phone, she lets out a whoop that probably wakes the entire building. You did it, Tia. The city voted against the parking lot. You got your nature preserve. Mama hugs me so hard she lifts me off the ground. And then my brothers and sisters are there, and it's a night I'll never forget as long as I live. My family congratulates me by giving me a nature book. I find the names of all the birds, the flowers, birds, and insects that live in our corner. Mama told me there's no sense in living next door to a nature preserve if you don't know what's in it. I think I must be the happiest girl in the world. A year later, the sign on the corner makes it official. Now we've got a walking path that curves and winds its way through the 71st Street Nature Preserve. We've got a stone bench and plans for a vegetable garden. School groups come to collect leaves and study the insects and birds. Folks come here to walk, run, and just sit. My corner isn't just mine anymore, but I'm more than happy to share it. As for me, I spend as much time here as I can, but I'm pretty busy these days. There's a vacant lot down on 71st Street that could use some cleaning up. Now, you might notice very quickly that on Sarah Bennett on the right side, I also added that I can't see why Sarah was at the corner. I don't know what she was told and how she knows to be there because I'm not in her point of view. Tia had to figure that out on her own. Go ahead and fill out the rest of this chart. Take your time and pause the video if you need to, and we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed getting to know point of view.